Welcome back to Breakfast from Bahrain. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we are brought to you by Babbittville Radio. Check us out on iTunes. My next guest, Mr. Timothy O'Donnell. He is the champion of saints, St. Andrews, St. Croix, anything with a saint on it. You won it this year.
Yeah, I just we need to call it St. Kona next year.
St. Kona, St. 70.3 World Championship, St. Roth. Yeah, that's good.
I'll take them all.
Take them all. So, coming off of 2013, where you got fifth in Kona, things changed. You know, obviously expectations for you internally are like, hey, I want to win this race. You went out and hired one of the best guys, Mark Allen, who's only won the race 6 times. What did you learn from Mark this last year?
It's been, definitely a learning year for me. I've learned, mainly training my body differently and, really focusing on the aerobic capacity and my efficiency. And
go slow to go fast.
Go slow to go fast. Yep. And I've seen great gains in training. And obviously the end of the year hasn't gone the way I wanted it. But it's okay. I mean, everything I've done this year hasn't been wasted. I think I'll see the benefits of that down the road.
Is it hard? You come off a year when you finish your year in 5th place, and Rinny won, and everything is on a high. You get married. Get married. I mean, every positive. Then the year goes okay, but not up to your standards. Right. But the most important thing is sort of finishes with you not having the race you wanted in Kona. How hard is that to deal with? Because you're the type of guy who puts in the work and is expecting certain results.
Yeah. It was devastating, really. You know, I mean, having a day like that in Kona, and really having one of those days where your body fails you and you're not quite sure why, and you were so well prepared.
Nutritional issues?
It was, it was actually more cramping. It wasn't really a GI problem. Had some cramping in my abdomen on the run. Actually, I lost one of my nutrition bottles and some of my salt on the ride. So, everything. I had a lot of things go wrong in Kona, and you try to correct, and you correct and recorrect, and you don't really realize it, but by the end of the day, that all starts to add up, and it just took its toll on me, and it was a hard day, but I'm not one to have come to the place I am in the sport without some adversity, so it's something I'm really not used to. I mean, I've been there before, and I've bounced back from it, and that's what I plan to do again next year.
So you didn't have the day you wanted. Your wife has one of the legendary days in history, right? 1440 back, and it's one of those days that we'll be talking about forever and ever. How hard is that? You go back to the condo and say, "Hey, honey, how was your day?"
Right. Yeah.
Like mine was pretty good. How was yours? Well, it wasn't really what I wanted.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have to put on a smile.
Right.
What Rini did in Kona is amazing, and I definitely didn't want to take away from that.
Any of that.
Right.
Sure.
But at the same time, she knows the disappointment I had. So no matter how big I smiled, she still had that kind of sinking gut for me.
Right.
But really, the biggest thing I was disappointed about, the next morning we woke up and Rini could barely move.
Yes.
And obviously 11 miles into the run, I didn't really get that. I started having issues, so I didn't get that pounding in the legs. And I wasn't sore and I wasn't beat up, and that's what really disappointed me. Like I wanted to feel.
You wanted to.
I wanted to feel like I put that effort in, and I just put it all out there.
You wanted to be looking at the stairs, going,
right?
How am I gonna get down those?
Each stair is a little challenge, So that was really the biggest disappointment. Watching everybody on the stage didn't compare to. Just I wanted to hurt like that. So.
Comparing blisters, little war stories. Yeah. So then. Then after that happens, you're in shape. You've got the fitness, and I'm sure you're thinking, well, I got to get back on this horse, or I got to get back, and then it's Ironman Arizona. And take us through that day. Yeah,
Arizona, like I said, I just I wanted to hurt, and that's the reason I did Arizona. Obviously I have to get points to go to Kona, but I'm not really worried about that. I believe I'm the athlete that can qualify for Kona without having to stress about it. Yeah. So, and if I don't for some reason, then it's meant to be. Right. But so obviously my prep for Kona was a little rocky. I wanted to celebrate, Rini's win. So, we still did some traveling. We went to Vegas and and had a good time.
Had some weddings to go to.
Had some weddings. Had 2 weddings a weekend after Kona. So, I really. don't think I was in the best preparation mode for Arizona, but like I said, I just wanted to hurt. And unfortunately, I had a little IT band issue after Kona from shuffling the marathon, and that's the hard part about being a professional. You know, if it's not your day, you really shouldn't finish. I mean, obviously, I did, and I paid the price with you know, the IT band issue. But Kona for me, it's one of those races I have too much respect for not to finish, so I wouldn't change that. But I paid the price for that in Arizona.
And now, by doing Arizona and finishing Ironman, do you have the points you need to go back to Kona next year? Or you still have to do another full?
I think if I wanted to, I could race some of the higher 70.3s and get enough points.
Yeah.
But I want to do another Ironman. I want to learn more from the race, and I think I'm the kind of guy that just needs to be racing like that and learn from that. I don't have maybe that natural talent where I can do one Ironman a year and just nail it. So I want to do another Ironman.
And you've had, when you look back at your great Ironmans, you look at Brazil with 801, where realistically, of course, it's probably a little long. Something was going on because you should have broke 8 hours there. Is that one that you might consider?
Yeah, I'd love to do a 4,000-point race just for the competition and the excitement of a bigger race. And Brazil makes sense for me time of year. I'm considering Frankfurt as well, but you know, we'll see. It's kind of later in the year to leave it up if points is what I need. I love Ironman Texas, but it's a hard course on the body with the heat, humidity, and the concrete run. Yeah. I think that might take that out of the scenario for me. So Brazil's looking pretty good.
So next year we'll be looking at Brazil. When you look back at where you started as basically in the military, getting in the triathlon, and now, you know, you're still one of America's best guys. Does it surprise you? Do you sort of pinch yourself and go, I can't believe I'm actually making a living doing what I love to do?
I mean, it does. I wake up every morning grateful for being where I am. Yeah. And we actually, I had the chance with Tim Don and the Wasner twins and Meredith Kessler. We went over and toured one of the British mine ships here. One of the mine hunters, yeah. So it's a joint U.S. British operation. So it was really fun for me to kind of go back to, you know, my roots out here in Bahrain too. And actually one of my friends from the Naval Academy is here. He's one of the EOD guys here. So I got to, you know, meet some of the guys from my old community that are here. And we were walking through the ship and I said to Tim, this is my other option. Like, when we get done this ship tour, you tell me, what would you rather be doing? Would you rather be on this ship or racing and living in Boulder?
Well, especially EOD, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, for our folks out there, what is EOD?
It's explosive ordnance disposal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those guys are, they're awesome. I mean, they're the ultimate in physical fitness and, you know, mental capacity, and they're the total package.
When people are listening and they hear you say, you know, I was bummed because I didn't have that hurt. I didn't. You know, you hadn't really suffered enough. I think that's something that might be difficult for people to relate to. But to do what you do, you sort of have to have that, right? You have to want to put yourself to find out how far past that ragged red line you can go.
Absolutely, and you know, sometimes you lose track of that with, you know, wanting to win big races or make money, and that's what I loved about Arizona. You know, I was fifth. I didn't have my best race, definitely, in my opinion, not what I was capable of doing. Right. But I was really happy with the performance because, given what I had on the day, I put it out there and I made myself hurt. Yeah. I couldn't walk the next day. And I remember out there.
You're the only guy who wakes up going, yay, I can't walk today.
But I was reminding myself during the race, I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is what I want. You know, I want to feel that pain and hurt, and I actually really enjoyed it.
You know, it's interesting. I remember Mark once talking about being sick before the Nice Triathlon, and that morning going, I can't race like this, and then realizing, you know what, I want to race, and I'm just going to reevaluate, and I'm at 70%, I'm going to get 100% out of 70% and be happy with the effort.
Right.
That to me sounds basically what you just said about Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said something similar. One of the years in Kona, I think the year where he had some internal bleeding.
87. Yeah.
Yeah. He mentioned that he would walk and then he would run as far as he could and then walk, and the same thing. You know, he's just getting everything out of what he had on the day.
Right.
And I keep that in the back of my mind.
So what are your expectations for this race? And we're talking about Olympic distance guys, we're talking half distance guys, we're talking full distance guys, all of them here with $500,000 at stake, 100,000 for first. Have you assessed the field at all, or are you here feeling like, hey, you know what? I win this at the end of the year. I've had a great season.
Right. Yeah. This is for me. This is a bonus race. You know, I've had a long year, raced a lot, threw an extra Ironman in there, so I have no expectations. I want to go out and have fun and really support a race that's supporting the professional, you know, field and professional triathlon. So, right. I mean, we need to get behind the races that get behind us. So, I'm just happy to be out here and be a part of the inaugural race.
You know, it's funny. It used to be if people were racing 8-10 times a year, like Mark was back in the day. If you win St. Croix and you win St. Andrews, you're going, I had a great season. Right now, because people are racing so many races, are the expectations higher than maybe they were back in the day?
I think so. I mean, I even when I started racing long course in beginning of '09, I think expectations have grown, and it's hard to stay relevant really in this sport. I mean, in today's media and fast-paced life,
right.
Yeah, you need to stay relevant, and I think there's pressure on guys to be always winning races.
Right.
At the end of the day, though, if you don't win anything and you win Kona, you're still good.
You're still
You're good.
Kong.
Yeah.
This year we had Ben Hoffman take second. We had Andy Potts take fourth. Last year you were fifth. Americans are starting to make an impact again in Kona, and we really haven't had champions since Tim DeBoom in 2001, 2002. Are you feeling good about where the American men are?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ben had an unbelievable race. I saw him prep, and I knew what he was capable of, and he executed. I think Andy had his best performance ever there in Kona. I think the American guys aren't afraid anymore. They're not afraid to put it out there and get after it, and it's motivating,
Love it. Tim, thanks so much for your time, man.
Mom.
Always appreciate it. Timothy, Mom. Timothy O'Donnell, right there. Timothy O'Donnell has been our guest again. We're at Challenge Bahrain, Breakfast from Bahrain. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by Babbittville Radio. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.